Hi guys, welcome to Tarot in the Dark. My name is Tori. Tonight we are going to just tap in and see what the ancestors have to say. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. And let's just see ancestors come through. They're showing me Lumeria, so some of you could connect to that energy. I'm seeing wells, dolphins, swimming, mermaids. Lots of water energy. So for some of you, could be absolutely, I was going to say, dealing with some emotional energy, especially with this groundhog spirit and time to let go. For someone here, you could have been digging deep, like digging deep into these wounds. And you could have felt like, okay, so basically what they're showing is that some of you could have been like digging into wounds, feeling like you're recovering from them, and then all of a sudden something resurfaces. It's almost like the final resolution. It's the final letting go is what they're saying. And this is something that has had a hold on you for a long time. Now this is interesting because it's almost like I'm hearing someone say, I've been over that. But yet there's a part of you that isn't over that, and that's why this is coming through. There's a part of this that's connected to something that you haven't been able to see clearly. Okay, they're saying today we're going to reveal the secret. So whatever the secret is, and let me just tell you, I was starting another reading. I recorded, the camera died. I had to stop. I came back to re-record and it just felt so disconnected. I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. And I was like, there must be something else I'm supposed to be doing. So I stopped, cleansed the energy, rebooted, and guess what? This message is coming through. And clearly this message is aligned, because you'll see the cards that are here on the table. So we have the groundhog spirit with time to let go. There's again something that has been holding on to you. Maybe you feel like you released it, but it's had a hold on you, and it's because there's something that you're not seeing in that situation. There's something in that situation. It has to do with some sense of stability, grounding, something like that is coming through. You see the bottom of the deck here, which is why I kept this deck out. The spirit guardian of autumn, letting go. This is about things falling away, allowing the time for the trees to release the leaves. You know, the trees, I've talked about this before on the channel. The trees actually have memory, and their memory is what tells them when it's time to allow the leaves to switch colors in the fall, the autumn season, and to drop off the branches. And so for some of you, there's something that is being activated in your DNA in regards to what you can no longer hold. Okay, it's like the memory of your ancestors are like tapping into you. This is very interesting. I've never even picked up on anything like this. It's almost like you could feel some sensations in your body, as if there's like a tapping. It's some type of like this, like a, not like a pinching, but it's more of like a softer, like, you know, pushing, or like tap, a little bit of tapping like this. There's something that is physically happening in your body. It's almost like they're showing me this as like a muscle spasm or something like that. But it's not a muscle. It's not in your muscles. It's in your nerves. And it's because they're releasing things within you that must go. So although you feel like you've been doing a lot of work and you feel like you've released a lot, there's still some residue here, and that's how they're showing this. It's like a little bit of a stain, and again, it's something that you're not seeing, but it's going to be revealed in this reading. And it's connected to your lineage. So meaning this is something that has affected many in your bloodline. Okay. We have the pine spirit here with purification. I love this card, especially right now. It's typically not one of my favorites, but right now I'm loving this, and I'll tell you why. Because pine can be used for so many things, including like making Sprite. It can be used for purifying and cleansing energy, like you can burn, dried pine leaves. Also too, pine, we have Christmas trees that are made out of pine trees. It leaves pine cones. You see I have one here. I honestly don't even know where I got this from. It just kind of landed in my lap, and it just gave me so much like energy of history and ancestry. And it's because it's stored within this, like, this is a real pine cone, and it is so sturdy. So I can tell that it had life at one point in time, but this life is stable. And so it's kind of like a reminder to me that life and things that may fall away can still bring, it's like something that you think is dead can still be revived. It can still give you life, or even in the death of it, it's still beauty, because there's something in this that's just powerful to me. So anyways, that's the story of the pine cone. But pine cones are a process of dropping off as well, right? So just like the leaves, there's a purification process. So what they're showing is that when the time comes for cleansing, you grab pine, and pine cones fall off when the tree is ripened. And so for you, you're ripened. And I don't know if that's the truth, because it must be the truth if they're telling me that, guys. I've never had them lie to me. I'm like, let's clear the air. They've never lied to me. However, I don't know if when the pine cones fall off. Like, I've just read some stuff and kind of studied trees and stuff like that just randomly. And that's how I found out about the history of the trees. But I don't know if it's the same with pine cones, but it must be, because that's a tree too. Anyways, there's a truth here, okay? And this truth is almost like the truth that is being set ablaze to be able to offer you an opportunity to release it. You notice how she's holding this little globe here. She's holding it, but pretty soon this fire is going to get to her. She's going to feel the burn of the fire underneath the globe. So it's almost like this truth is coming through in order for you to feel the burn and release it once and for all. The leaves are here too. You guys may not be able to see it, but they're fall leaves, and they're leaves that are falling off of the tree. They're basically confirming exactly what we've been talking about this being the time to release and let something go. And it's because this is your pathway to freedom. Oh, the horse, the fire horse. And this is a 5 card. That's a 5 card. That's a 4 and a 3. So this fire horse is about you riding into freedom. For some of you, this is what you've been desiring. So you may be asking for things, but you always want to ask, what is the emotion that I'm seeking that's attached to that I'm asking for? If I'm asking for, for love, if I'm asking for romance, if I'm asking for a raise, if I'm asking for financial gain, what is the emotion that I'm trying to seek? And that's how you manifest, is that you ask for the emotion, not for a specific thing. And what happens is Spirit knows what thing will provide you fulfillment of that emotion. And then that's how you start getting things handed over to you. So there's a truth that's going to come through today in regards to something that's connected to your ancestry DNA, and it's something that has to do with your heart. And this is about releasing it. This is about identifying the truth and then finally allowing that hot globe to be released, because you recognize that fire will do you more harm by holding on to it. So whatever this pain is, it's doing you more harm holding on to it rather than just releasing it and letting it go. And I love that, because we have the energy of fire and ice here. And this ice comes by way of air energy with communication. And so it's almost like the message coming through is to allow yourself to be cleansed through the truth that is being communicated to you. Now, one thing I love about this is that I'm not going to tell you, they're not going to give me a specific truth, I don't think. This is you trusting your own intuition to be guided to accept the truth based on the messages that they do share. So whatever they share, there's going to be a recognition for you as to what truth you've been maybe denying or haven't wanted to tap into or access in regards to your heart space and love and some type of pain that's attached to it. I'm not necessarily picking up on romantic love, so this could be relationships with family, it could be relationships with yourself, the way you love yourself, the way you love people around you. I'm not sure, but you're going to be able to know based on the messages that are coming through, because the goal is to get you to recognize that you have these exact same gifts. It's just a matter of activating them so that you can begin to trust yourself. Okay, I believe personally that the more we trust ourselves, the more truth we can embrace in our lives. And that is, to me, the access point to freedom. Okay, so let's dive in to the tarot. All right, so the first thing is I'm definitely recognizing this burden here, and then the Five of Pentacles. Definitely representative of carrying more than you're supposed to and being connected to pain and sorrow, as well as weight rather than freedom, which is light energy, okay? And I'm not talking about the color light, although you could attribute it to that, but this is heavy energy here with the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. And this definitely gives the energy of carrying the weight by yourself, but yet almost like blaming it on other people for not supporting you is how this feels. Because the Taurian energy of the Five of Pentacles can sometimes find themselves in the shadow, which next to the Ten of Wands, it absolutely would show up in that aspect. But they can, Taurian energy can sometimes find itself wallowing in sorrows, like a woe is me, why is life like this, why did this happen to me? Trust me guys, I know Taurus is in my top 3, but it's like, why did this happen to me? Why is my life this way? I just don't understand why things happen to me and everything is against me. So if you find yourself in that energy, you may want to assess why or how or what's happening, what burden is leading you to feel neglected, abandoned, disappointed, almost led astray by life and the excessive weight that you carry. For some of you, you could be carrying a weight of responsibility, and you could feel like you're doing this by yourself. Now, this could be in any area of your life. I'll leave that up to you to define. But this is absolutely carrying a weight. It could be a financial weight, a stress, a strain, a burden of feeling like you've been left out. And again, this is a feeling of I've been left out in the cold by life. God has deserted me. They're also showing me this young lady here. And you notice that she's out in this like little pond. It reminds me of Lake Placid, if you've ever seen that movie. She's standing out here by herself, and she's a little girl, and I have a little niece, and there's no way I would let her. I have several nieces, but I have a little cutie woody one, and she's so cute to me. But anyways guys, forgive me, but I would never let her go out at the lake by herself like this, you know. But she's seeking something and she's willing to go at it alone. And so I think a lot of you may feel abandoned, left out, especially if you're waiting for something. That's coming through very strongly. If you're waiting for something and it hasn't come through, you can find yourself in a state of mind where you're like, oh my God, like literally nothing is happening for me. Especially if you compare yourselves, you know, what's his name? CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud, the football player, you know, the quarterback, his dad told him, and he said this in an interview that I watched with my son years ago, he said his dad taught him that comparison is the killer of joy. And that's exactly what, you know, is being brought up right now, is that, you know, you don't want to compare yourself to other people's situations. The one thing that I know, and you probably know this too, is that you just never know what path somebody had to take to get to where they are. You know, like if you know who Joyce Meyer is, she's like a Christian, I don't know what you call her, an evangelist, I guess. And she talks about how people want her mission, her purpose, because she can go to arenas and she usually does these events for free. And guys, these events will have the entire arena packed with people. And she's like, people always want this, but they don't want to go through what I went through. Now, trigger warning here. Absolutely nobody wants to go through what she went through, guys. She was molested by her father for years. Nobody wants that. But everybody wants the glory and the recognition and the acknowledgement of what she has right now. So it's important for us to remind ourselves that we just don't know what somebody had to go through. In my opinion, she's beyond deserving of everything she has. Because godly, what a freaking horrible childhood that lady had to live. Godly. So I think it's beautiful that God has blessed her abundantly, and I think she deserves it. And she's right. I would never want that as my story. And we feel that about a lot of people, I'm sure. If you know my full story, you'd be like, no, thank you. Find somebody else. If I know yours, I'd be like, no, thank you. Find somebody else. But for me, mine was bearable. As hard as it was for you, yours is bearable. You're here now, right? So it's like accepting these truths. And I guess I'm rambling because there's some truths in that maybe some of us need to hear. It's just grounding ourselves in the fact that the truth of, things happening to us, yet we've been purified of them, and now we're on the path to freedom. They're telling me something about, like, how can you be upset with the past when it's given you access to where you're at right now? Someone told me that, and I was like, what in the heck, buddy? I was like, what do you mean? Not what do you mean, but like, okay, I got it, right? Like, how can you be upset with what they did when you've been offered access to purification, freedom, abundance? Look at this. You're sitting as the Empress. You're showing up as the Empress. Did you see how that card popped out? Did you see that? Wow, look at this. The Lovers and the Ace of Pentacles is trying to pop its little head out. The Ten of Pentacles, oh my God. And this is the way. Oh my gosh, I'm putting these down. Wow. So the situation is that currently you're sitting in the status of the Empress. You have access to everything, okay? This is Venus energy. This is love. There's a road here, and you'll notice this road, it doesn't end. Like, you can't see the ending of it. So there's something here about the path is made clear for you. You're able to have access, and you're able to follow through and go wherever it is that you desire to go with your life. Meaning that there's no caps, there's no limits. There's like, wherever you want to go. Infinite possibilities. No restrictions. But there's something here about not seeing that. And look, the Page of Cups is here for the past. So in the past, I think you've offered your heart over, but not completely. There's an offering of a heart here, but the heart is not being completely offered over, because the Page of Cups is a very immature, naive access to the heart. This is like, oh my God, I love you. You're so cute. Let's spend the rest of our lives together. It's like partial access by means of expectations, our own Disneyland or Disney fantasy way of thinking, like, oh, I'm going to meet Prince Charming. He's going to come in and he's going to satisfy me. And that led to disappointments, but it led to disappointments because it was immature. It was not fully grown, okay? Like, you are now fully grown. Like, this is the contrast in this is insane, the way that they're showing this to me. It's like this is a giant and this is an ant, and you were trying to offer yourself as an ant with the expectation that you could come against this giant and match them. You know, like energetically, you're like, oh, I can totally match this giant over here as the Empress, when, you know, you could have been showing up as the ant. And it's like there was a mismatch in the system. Like, there was apples and oranges. You weren't aligned with that energy. For others of you, you could have offered your cup over to, I don't know why they're showing me 90 Day Fiance. I actually love that show. I love 90 Day Fiance. But what they're showing is that with 90 Day Fiance, there's a lot of naivety in the individuals that are on the show. And the naivety comes in with, if they get a little bit of attention, then they're jumping on it. I know all about this, guys. I've absolutely been that way in the past. Absolutely. But the problem is that you're the Empress. Okay? So you can't operate in that same energy that you were operating in the past. Wow, that's a truth right there. That's, I mean, wow. That same individual that would accept whatever was given to them. Okay, the individuals who would take on the relationship as theirs, like the entirety of the relationship. Because when you're in a relationship, you recognize that you're only responsible for half of it. So when you're operating from the Page of Cups energy, you're taking on everything, you're doing everything because you want to be accepted, you want to be embraced. But you have learned the lessons. You're no longer interested in being desired and validated by others, in a sense that it makes you feel good about yourself. You're already validating yourself if you're the Empress. If you're the Empress, you don't need validation from anybody. You're also not sitting around waiting for somebody to offer you something, because you're giving it to yourself. You notice that the Empress is bountiful. Look at her body. She's full. She's voluptuous. And I don't mean like, you know, necessarily her physique, although she is, but in a sense, a spiritual sense, like she doesn't need anything from outside sources. This wand is also showing up as like her connection to the divinity, to the divine, but also her recognition of the authority that has been gifted to her. And for someone, you are having a hard time accepting your status, your royalty, your position of authority, this promotion that has been gifted to you. There's something about the past and this energy. It's almost like it wants to like attach itself to you. I'm like almost seeing like this like cord here, where it's like this energy of the past wants to keep you connected, and it's doing so by convincing you that you don't have a place in this seat here. But your ancestors are like, no, this is your rightful position. You were next in line. We're giving this to you. It's yours. That's interesting, because I did a reading, I don't know, whatever day. I think it was something titled "The Stars Are Aligned." And you'll notice that these stars on her crown, they're all aligned. You've been positioned for this. But the past and the energy of, it's really the energy of questioning the validity of you, questioning your authority. The blockage here is the Nine of Wands. Wow, this is absolutely what they're saying. It's the wounded warrior. You may be exhausted. You may be exhausted because of the way that you're seeing yourself. Because you're not seeing yourself, because you're not seeing yourself through the lens of one who is deserving or worthy of the authority. See, they're taking me back here to this little child, this inner child. There's something in your inner child. This Page of Cups too, something in your inner child that has not believed or been able to believe in freedom, in purity of heart, mind, and spirit. There's something about within your inner child, there's a wound there that has not allowed you to operate in freedom. There's something in your inner child that has been blocked from being able to release the weight. This Nine of Wands represents a weight. It's a weight. I've been to war, right? And now I'm wounded. But you're not. Those wounds are no longer attached to you. You're free from the wounds. You're holding on to them. And there's a holding on to them due to fear that you may not be able to attach to and experience true freedom because you've never felt it before. It's almost like she's dreaming of this. She's dreaming of a change, hoping and sitting at the lake like a wishing pond or something, right? Making a wish, and there's this flame. She can see these opportunities, but she's never actually touched this. It's almost as if she can see him like flying in the sky, and she's like, that's what I want. That's what I want. But in order to access that, there has to be a letting go. A letting go of the hold of the pain. It's the pain, guys. The pain is this Nine of Wands with that Page of Cups. For some of you, this pain was initiated in childhood. You never knew how to release it because how could you? You're a child. And it's almost as if, like in this simplicity, they're showing it just stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked to where now it's your identity. The pain of the past, the pain of the things that you've gone through has become your identity. And so you're identifying as this Page of Cups, but you're actually the Empress. And so you've accepted and embraced the Page of Cups in others because that's how you saw yourself. You saw yourself as worthy and deserving of pages when the whole time you've been the Empress. If not the whole time, you've worked your way into this. You know, that body dysmorphia, that's what they're showing me. Like, you could be extremely thin. You know, this is metaphoric, guys. You could be extremely thin, but see yourself as voluptuous. And spiritually, that's how you're viewing your heart. You're not seeing your heart through the lens of purification. You're not recognizing that the work that you've been doing has been this pine spirit. It's been purging and purifying you. It's this here, this sage stick. You've been saged. Okay? You've been cleansed, purified to the point to where you are the Empress. You're open and ready for so much. It's been cleansed off of you. You don't even have any stains, guys. That's how serious this is. You have no stains. But yet you don't feel safe within you. And you don't feel safe within you because that inner child has told themselves a story in regards to what love looks like, what trust looks like, and what pain looks like. And for someone, you are more comfortable in the pain than in the peace. The pain has even become your peace. It's like, that's where I find safety. That's where I'm most comfortable. That's where I'm at home. But that DNA, your ancestors, that tapping that they've been doing on your nerves, tapping even on your nervous system, is calling that pain out of you. Again, it's already been purified, they're saying. They're saying it's already been purified. They're just waiting for you to move into the freedom. What you don't see is this 9 of Cups. Oh my gosh. You don't see that your wishes are being fulfilled. Even right now, there's like I'm not waiting. They're saying you're not waiting. It's already here. Your wishes are being fulfilled, but you're not seeing the wishes as being fulfilled because you're still seeing life through the lens of this child, this page, rather than through the lens of this mature adult who is voluptuous, strong, empowered. It's almost like there's a middle spot, like there's something in the middle and you get caught there and it pulls you back rather than seeing that hurdle and jumping over it. It has to do with connecting to your truth. Maybe when you're emotional, maybe when you're feeling that 10 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles energy, there's something about the truth in that maybe when you're in those vulnerable moments, there's something there that trips you up. But your life is aligning to meet your wishes, to fulfill your wishes. But sometimes we can find ourselves in this 9 of Cups energy and feel disconnected from it because we may be looking at life through the lens of an old version of ourselves. So there could be an old version of you that is used to war, used to fighting, and your nervous system has to adapt and adjust to the softer life, to the more peaceful life, to a more prosperous life that gives you this freedom. And it may take time, just as the seasons, there's winter, spring, summer, fall. We're talking about the winter time where there's a purification, and then we're speaking of the fall where things are falling away. Maybe allowing yourself to tap more into spring and summer in order to allow the energies of winter and fall to settle into your system. Because your nervous system could just be uprooted due to the fact that you have been through so much turmoil. But remember, they're saying you've already been purified. You've already been cleansed. What the heck, guys? Look at this. Sometimes I just don't know what's happening in the world. Oh, that's a sage leaf. I'm like, why is this brown? I'm like, what are they doing? Dropping stuff on me? Okay, anyways, so the advice is the Sun with the Hermit. I love this. This kind of is exactly what I was just saying a second ago, guys. They're saying here that the advice is to illuminate and bring clarity to the lessons that you've learned. For some of you, again, in those vulnerable moments, you may forget that you're the Empress. If you're the Empress and you're trying to make something happen for yourselves, then you probably are not operating in the Empress status. That would be more of the Page of Cups. If you're dreaming and thinking of things that are not aligned with who you actually are, that also is Page of Cups energy. If you get emotional and you fall back into the energy of the wounds of the past, that is also Page of Cups energy. If you feel like you are stuck in pain and wounds and you're unable to push past those things and see the truth in the situations, accept the situations for what they are, embrace the situations for the gifts that they offered, the lessons that they offered with the Hermit. And if you can't find freedom in the lessons, or peace in the lessons, or clarity in the lessons, then you may find yourself operating from the Page of Cups energy versus the Empress energy. There's also something about you already sought and you found. But once you find, you have to use the tools. So if you've been seeking out truths, if you're listening to me, if you're watching other tarot readers and they're speaking truth and you still can't activate those lessons, then they're advising you to maybe take a break from tarot readings and just allow yourself to be able to sit with the energy of how to activate the lessons. There's something here about not only receiving clarity, but also utilizing it with the Hermit. This is wisdom. It's introspection. So maybe even after you listen to a tarot reading, allow yourself to sit down and to introspect in order to gain clarity on how to access the freedom that's within you. They're also saying this very clearly, that you already have freedom within you. And it's up to you to move the horse forward. And you do that by letting go of anything that doesn't fill your hearts with joy and satisfaction with that Nine of Cups. This is already present in your life. You're already operating in this Nine of Cups, this Empress status. But the disconnect between these energies has everything to do with the past and you identifying with the old version of you rather than stepping into and activating by utilizing the tools that you've learned from these lessons in order to push you forward so that you can remain in this Empress status. This is very, 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 very good and deep. I'm just going to look and see what's going on today because this seems very... Oh, guys, on yesterday, the 11th of February, the sun sextiled Chiron. This makes perfect sense because what they're doing is the sun sextiling Chiron is activating the areas within you. Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's this wounded warrior that becomes the healer, the Hermit. And then the sun is present here with this healer. The Hermit is a healer as well. And it's like, this is medicine. Like they're showing me alchemy. So it's like this is the alchemy of the sun sextiling Chiron, allowing you to be able to see those things. The sun is exposure. You can't hide anything under the light of the sun. Right? Everything in the dark becomes visible in the light of the sun. So this Chiron, the sun sextiling Chiron is illuminating these things in order for you to truly be able to access that freedom that is coming your way as we move into this next week where we have all this powerful energy of forward movement, progress. So this is literally like, I don't know if they said this earlier, I think so, something about like cleaning it up to allow you to access freedom. So there's like this thing that's trapped within you that's not allowing you to completely access the wishes that are being fulfilled even right now within you. For a lot of you, just being the Empress is a wish fulfillment. But are you recognizing that? Okay, guys, I'm ending the reading here. This is powerful. I'm happy to be here with you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you again. I hope you have a great night, this was an amazing reading. I'm thanking the ancestors and spirit guides for showing up and giving us this amazing access to this wisdom that is phenomenal, guys. Oh my gosh, this is such a powerful reading. I'm going to go back and introspect and just see how this is affecting my life right now, because this is so powerful. So powerful. Don't forget to ground yourself in the stability of who you are. Ground yourself in this Empress energy so that you can activate more freedom by means of accepting and seeing these truths, recognizing them, and being able to utilize them moving forward to assist and support you with clarity and embracing all of the benefits that are coming your way. Okay, guys, I've talked enough. Have a fantastic night. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.